Hey, we've been working on some notes to play over an A chord with a little bit of a rock and roll or blues flavor. Good for beginning level guitar players. So just making sure you guys are finding these 5/7 notes. Hopefully you're able to make a couple of sounds that are pleasing. I'm still working on it myself. Yeah, we covered this G, A, C, D, and bending the D. Bring it down. G, A, or A, G, A. That does sound pretty cool. So next, let's add the fifth string, which is also a 5/7 for frets. That's a D, E. So they're all the same, 5/7, 5/7, 5/7. Eventually, we're going to break out of that and do some other frets, but let's just review what these are. D is the fourth interval of an A major scale, so that D at the fifth fret is called the fourth interval. And then our E is our fifth interval. One thing about the E is that it is part of an A chord, A minor or A major. That is the fifth interval. It's the fifth note in an A major scale, so we just call it the 5. And that is a chord tone, so it's a good note to land on. It's part of the chord, major or minor. The G is your flatted 7. A is the root. That's a chord tone, the root. And then the C is a chord tone of an A minor chord. That's the minor third. So your chord tones are E, A, C. That's pretty cool to realize. And again, those notes, when you land on them, they will kind of sound like the chord. If you hit like a D, that's not in those chords. So that note's going to sound a little bit kind of far away. The D might lead to the E. How about this? So it kind of resolves when you get to the E. Or it could lead to a C. D, C. You could go D, C, A. Or, it's endless. You could do E, D, C, A. That's the basic phrase. And then bounce off that G. So I'm going to make the case that the D is kind of a weird note to land on. It kind of suggests we are going to a D chord. Or it's an A suspended fourth chord, like that's the D, which is cool, which is probably going to resolve down to like an A major. So it could be, or it could resolve down to C. If it's a minor chord, that C would be the minor third, or it could resolve up to your E, which again is the fifth of A. So I realize that's a lot of numbers and stuff, but you really got to know, your intervals of the scale, which maybe we'll do that in another video. But so we're just kind of expanding on this basic rock and roll kind of pattern, which is all 5/7s, and that's really easy and cool, don't you think? I do. And we can definitely take it lower, or take it higher and bust out of this little pattern here. So the pattern's nice. I play it all the time, but I also kind of meander up the neck, which is a lot of fun to do. So I hope you're enjoying your guitar. I spent the day digging out weeds and digging out grass that I didn't want growing in one place and planting it in other places in the yard, and planting flowers and digging more weeds and picking up sticks and sifting compost. So my hands are kind of, my dexterity is not great. So after you kind of do strenuous work, it's kind of hard to shift over to this dainty guitar stuff. So it's a kind of a different set of muscles. So I feel like I'm starting over here, which I kind of am really with these basic phrases, but I love this stuff. So we'll be adding some more strings and again moving, kind of expanding our pattern. So just enjoy that 5/7 business and make sure you have it memorized and see if you can come up with creative new phrases that are fun to play and bring you a little bit of happiness. So I'm going to try to take it easy tonight, and I have a gig tomorrow, maybe a rehearsal on Sunday, and then big time gig season starts for me, which all my gigs are little stuff, but to me it's a big deal, man. So any practicing is a big deal, really, or making a video is really a fun thing. So I hope you're finding fun things to do with your guitars too. All right, thanks for stopping by. If you can subscribe, that would be awesome. So thanks again.